Okay, the shocking death of Oscar-winning star Philip Seymour Hoffman from an apparent overdose is putting the spotlight again on the complicated issue of addiction.
And here to talk about the lifelong struggles associated with it is forensic psychologist and addiction specialist Dr. Buzz von Ornsteiner. Welcome. Thanks for coming in this morning. So let's talk about heroin. Now, that is suspected in Hoffman's death, and that's something that's very readily available to people, right? And it's also very inexpensive. So would you say that, that makes fighting an addiction even harder?
Well, the availability always does. It also has an individual has downtime. He's not working a consistent, steady job. When he is working, he's immersed in it, but then you have these periods of downtime. So unfortunately, a lack of structure, idle time, makes people more apt to get more into trouble. It also was mixed in with prescription medication, so that you have an abuse of heroin, but then you also have an abuse of prescription medication. Right. It's like a double whammy.
Right, and then obviously we know what results. It was reported that he had been clean for 2 decades. Is it common to have this kind of a relapse?
Yeah, unfortunately, when we look at addiction, we look at an individual that has had a history of addiction, it is somewhat chronic. It kind of stays with us till the rest of our life. And if you do have a relapse, that's not particularly uncommon. I work with a population within my mental health court. We've had clients who have relapsed 3, 4 times throughout their life. We all encompass stressors throughout our lives, and we all sometimes look for quick fixes. So unfortunately, if you find something that works momentarily, either that's alcohol, drug, marijuana, or a prescription medication, you might be more apt in a low point in your life just to seek it, to go back.
All right, would you say it's harder for people in the spotlight? Celebrities like Corey Monteith, who passed away recently. Of course, we have Heath Ledger and so many people, Amy Winehouse. So it is. And why is that? Is it the pressure of Hollywood, pressure of getting that next job, the pressure? What is it exactly, would you say?
If I was to speculate on that, we're looking at the success of these individuals in an industry that's really hard to achieve that level of success. There's certainly hundreds of thousands of other people who don't reach this point. I look at it kind of as there's 2 points. The person is craving the spotlight and craving attention, but then coupled with that is there's these insecurities. And unfortunately, as we get older, we don't necessarily get better in that area. We become more aware of our insecurities directed towards as we age. And unfortunately, this is a youth-oriented society, and it is a competitive society where the younger you are, usually the better you are. If we're talking about the voice, we certainly may get more insecure about our speaking voice, our singing voice, our dancing abilities, and also as an actor, you're only as good as your last picture. As a singer, you're only as good as your last album. So there is this constant, almost like a hamster in a wheel, this constant need to keep churning, and there's tremendous pressure in that to keep up that level and to exceed where you've been before. In fact, that's something Truman Capote said once.
How ironic. And he wins an Academy Award playing Truman Capote. I don't want to be selfish here, but I'm thinking, I don't even know how to react to this. Talking to my daughter about it last night, I was so sad. But then I was so mad. Here was a kid, and my daughter looked up to him because she was exposed to him in Hunger Games and thought, boy, he's a good actor. And I said, you know what, he really is. He's a talented actor. Now I'm upset. How should we react? Sympathy, anger, how should we handle this?
Well, first of all, I agree with you, and I'm no different than anyone else. You have a combination of issues and concerns, not only for your children and for yourself and for the people you're involved with, but also when you see a celebrity that you admire and you care about, even though you don't even know that person.
You feel so close and connected.
You feel so close to them that you feel the grief and the conflictions that come with grief. And I think when you are in grief, you look for blame. It's a natural component. What could have been done? How could we have intervened better?
What are the warning signs?
But when we look at warning signs, and again, if we're talking about a friend, or we're talking about a romantic partner, if we're talking about a child, or we're talking about a teenager, different things come to mind for different people. One is that individual is not the same as they once were. That individual has replaced you with something else. That individual has replaced you with something that's stronger. A friend is no longer a reliable friend. A friend is no longer going to be there. A friend is someone that has distanced themselves. We may think, hey, maybe they're sick of us, but it may be something else.
That
It
they're
may
going
be
through
a
event.
drug.
So pay attention to
You know, a romantic person, you're no longer the main person in that individual's life. Pay attention to that. Don't necessarily focus on what you're doing, focus in on what they're doing, and be honest and open. Get rid of the stigmatism, and just come out and ask them. And I'm concerned. What's going on?
Well, it's heavy stuff, and Dr. Buzz, may I call you Dr. Buzz?
Yeah, you can call me Buzz, too.
Thank you, Buzz. Thank you for weighing in today.
We
We
appreciate your
appreciate that.
insight.